Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Dead Romantics podcast, where we talk about how romance has died, but us lasting romantics have looked to romance books to survive. My name is Katelyn.
And I'm Tiana, and today we will be talking about the famous A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Frickin' Maas.
Literally that bitch of the book world.
Mm-hmm. Period.
There's so much to
Oh,
say about this book.
there's too much to say.
No, actually. But let's
Mhm.
just
So
get into
funny.
it.
Okay, so fair warning, everyone. If you have not read the entire series, there will be spoilers in every episode for every book.
Yep.
So, fair warning.
Oh, and just a little disclosure. We are going to be marathoning these books. So if you haven't kept up with us already every Wednesday, you might want to keep up with us now because you're not going to want to miss these episodes. And we are going to be doing all of the books. So just keep that in mind as you go watching us.
Yeah. So, little side note. Our friendship is built off these books.
Yes. Yes, they
That's
are.
not an exaggeration.
Yep.
So, we're very passionate about these freaking books, okay?
No, seriously. We bought the rings from Pandora.
The, Starfall rings.
Yes, the jasmine ring, also known as the ACOTAR one. Don't mind my crusty ass hand in that shot. Jesus. She
That's
needs some lotion.
my anxiety-bitten fingernails. It's
It's
fine.
fine. It's
It's
fine.
okay.
Anyway, let's get into these books.
Okay. You wanna start off, or should I?
Do you want to start off? You can start off.
Alright, I'll start. Okay, so this book starts off with the Archeron family. Um, we're gonna talk about the sisters first. There's Feyra, who's the female main character in this book. Then there's Elaine and Nesta. And then their father, Father Archeron. Um but yeah, so basically this family at one point was very wealthy
Mhm.
and they lost all their money. Their mother died. They lost their fortune. Since they lost their fortune, they couldn't pay for stuff. The debt collectors came in, busted Father Archeron's kneecaps in. So now Father Archeron is a deadbeat, low key.
He's
In
giving
this,
Sopranos.
yeah. Period though.
Like,
Yeah. So Feyre takes it upon herself because her sisters are also useless in this book. Also, everyone say hi to Peach.
little Peachy. She's
She
so cute. Look at the little face, dude.
she's been super attached to me today, and if you see her like moving on my lap, just ignore her. But anyway,
But real quick, back to the sisters. Because
mhm.
you said that they're useless, and I do, obviously, I more than agree on that.
In this book,
In
in
this book.
this book,
But I will say, I feel like it's important to note that they were like at an what's the word? Can't speak today. An aristocratic level in society. They're very high up. So to them, remember, they grew up very like they were supposed to sit pretty and be all ladylike and read books and know poetry and art and freaking plant flowers like Elaine, the fucking flower goddess. So but, like, Feyre was a lot younger when her mother died, right? So she grew up in it, but it wasn't like the older 2 sisters that were more in that they were out in society, basically.
yeah. And Farah never learned how to read.
Yeah, which that's a whole thing on its own, but we'll get to that. If you
Um,
know, you know.
well, that's for next episode.
Yep.
Briefly mentioned in this one, but anyway. So I don't think that they're useless. Excuse me. I just think that in this book specifically, they're supposed to be perceived as useless.
Yes.
And I want to make that very clear because they play important roles in the other books. And Nesta even gets her own book. But that's for later. That's for later. So yeah. So Feyre, I almost said Elaine. Feyre takes it upon herself to go and hunt and trade and make money for the family, which it should be her father's job, but broken kneecaps, hobbling around. Okay, he
Honestly,
can't
my
do
father's
much.
just a lazy bitch. Like, let's just say it.
Well, remember the only thing that he did was carve wooden
Yeah,
sculptures.
but, like, he didn't even, cause like, I feel like she was complaining, like, he just didn't even try, like, he
Yeah,
kinda lost his will to try, you
yeah.
know? She felt like they took his money, so it's like, what's the point? Meanwhile, you have 3 daughters who are you have living in a cottage, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not even a cottage. We'll get to that in a
It's a
second.
hut, like,
Yeah, basically, but get to that in a moment. So one stormy winter day, Feyre was like, "We need food. We need money. I'm going hunting." And Feyre Archeron is very good with the bow and arrow.
yep.
So she goes out into the woods. Not She goes out during the day, but she comes back at night. So she goes out, and a very important thing is that there is a wall that separates the human world and Prithian.
Mhm.
You get too close to the wall, you die. Now, Feyre gets too close to the wall. She sees a wolf. She's like, I know that's not a wolf. It's a fairy.
Well, I think sorry, can I add
No,
something?
go ahead.
What's it called? Just like to add a quick little note. I think it's super important to also note that humans and fairies absolutely, well, at least humans despise fairies. They absolutely hate them. They have this idea that they're just ruthless, evil beings, right? That like want to hurt and kill humanity.
Yeah.
So in her eyes, when she sees this wolf in the wood, oh my god, I cannot speak to. Don't mind me. I had a speech course today, and I'm still shaking. But anyway, um, so when she sees this wolf in her mind, she knows it's a fairy, like Tiana said, but she's also seeing it like this is like the enemy. Like this is evil, right? It's like evil incarnate.
Period.
But yeah, back to what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah. So, long story short, we're just gonna erase 2 pages of description here. She shoots the wolf through the eyeball. Straight through.
Yep.
Yoinked. Okay?
Jesus. It was very graphic.
Listen. That was the short version. Read the book. You read through the 12 pages of descriptive words, okay?
Jay Mass is very wordy, but like I love it and I hate it at the same time. But we'll get into
No.
that with the third book.
Yeah. Yes, we'll get into that later. But I'm not complaining about it. I think it fits this book perfectly because it's the first book you're supposed to get the imagination going and all that important stuff.
Mhm.
So for the first book, it's acceptable.
I will say she does a fantastic job of
Oh yeah,
truly bringing this world to life. I mean, you really feel like you are in the center of it as you're reading it.
exactly.
So it's like the wordiness, like some things I could do without, but other things I'm like, no, like you put me there in their world, in the
Yeah.
continent.
Period. No, I feel the same way. But I will I will always call out the pages of descriptive words. Good or bad. Good or
Yeah,
bad, I will always make sure you guys know about it.
she's a
Because
bit wordy.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like when I was reading this scene specifically, I was in Florida. I remember I was in Florida and I was like, "Ooh, I feel like I'm in a cold wintry woods right now."
Dude, we were in the middle of COVID when I first picked this up. So like me freaking burritoed in my bed, avoiding online school. I was like, no, period. I'm in the winter right now. Like,
Period. Shout out SJM for saving us. But anyway, yeah, so she shot the wolf through the eye. The wolf ended up actually being a fairy. We're gonna get into that more later because it's important. But she goes back after she, takes care of the wolf, if you will. She drags the wolf back at night. She's tired, she's freezing, she's weak, she's hungry. She skins it, sells the skin, whatever. Following night, I believe, or 2 nights later, whatever, this beast whips the door open, kicks it down, whoosh. Okay? And he's like half lion, half bear. What else is he?
Wolf
Half wolf, half, I think,
paws.
owl or something like that too. He has like,
Basically, this man is a creature of the night, just not vampire.
no, he's not a creature of the night. He's a creature of the spring court known as Tamlin.
Yes. Jace.
I have a bone to pick with Tamlin, but we'll get
Oh, okay. We're not gonna get into that right now because if we're gonna talk about Tamlin, like we're obviously gonna talk about Tamlin in this book, but I feel like the redemption arc needs to be mentioned as well. But we'll get into that later
we'll
on.
get into that. We'll get into that. So Tamlin busts open the hut's door and everyone's screaming, frantic, whatever. And Feyre's like, what do you want?
Yeah, Feyre is that bitch when it comes to her.
Yeah.
She's like, sir, you
Yeah.
do not just knock down my fucking door.
No.
Like,
She's like, I built it and I painted it.
literally.
Yeah.
And she's
Don't
all
mess
like,
with her.
got a bone to pick with you. You need to pay the price. Which
Tamlin,
is
right?
usually, oh, sorry, what'd you say?
No, you're talking about Tamlin?
Yeah, that he was like, there's a price to pay, sweetie,
Mm-hmm.
which usually would be death. But he was all like, I'll strike a deal, you know?
Do you wanna get into this? Because I
You want
feel
me
like you go ahead, go.
to? You
Take it
want
away.
me
'Cause I'm gonna get irritated.
to? Wait, why?
Tampon. But anyway.
God, I have, okay, quick little, we always get off topic, but like, we're just gonna get off topic for a second. I know everyone hates Tamlin, and you know, Tamlin's tears and Tamlin the tampon and all of these things. Like, does he deserve half of those nicknames? Absolutely. Do we hate Tamlin? Yes, absolutely. With a burning passion. However, and I know I'm skipping ahead here a couple books, but because the redemption arc will be mentioned, because I do believe that he does deserve a redemption arc in the following books that Sarah J. Maas puts out. I know it's a bit controversial in the SJM world, in the ACOTAR universe. I know Tiana right now wants to like burn my eyes out, but like, everyone deserves a second chance, you know? And he proved it. Like, you can't say he hasn't done anything. He did prove a little bit in the third book that he would be worthy of redemption.
I'm talking about this one though.
I know.
Third book is a different Tamlin. Second
Yeah.
book is even a different Tamlin. This book, this Tamlin.
But people still but this was the book people fell in love with Tamlin, right? I feel like this book and the third book showed real Tamlin, right? But we'll get into it. So, like I was saying before, sorry for getting off topic, guys, but I'm kind of passionate about this. Like I was saying before, so he comes knocking at the door. He's all like, there's a price to pay, sweetie. And he's like, I'm not going to kill you, but you got to come over the wall with me. Right? Kind of like a prisoner situation.
Yeah.
But she has a lot of freedom for a prisoner. Like, basically, she lives with him in Prithy when he takes her over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Goes over the wall.
Wait. Actually, I would like to mention that it's about like, I think it's like a 3-day journey or something like that.
Yes. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
No, you're fine. He drugged her, so she like basically slept through that 3-day journey.
Yeah.
Red flag number 1. Continue.
I love how I'm just like skipping past the red flag. But this is not about my own relationship life. This is about Feyre's. So, sorry, where was I?
No, keep going.
Right, so
I'm a little pissed off right now, but go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Before you go ahead, I'm gonna interrupt you one more time.
No, go for it.
The reason why I have a bone to pick with Tamlin is, okay, because at least for me, most of the books that I've read, they've been like tall, dark, handsome, emo boys.
Jesus.
This is like the first book I've read in a while that had like a handsome blonde, green eyed. I was like, oh, finally, because my boyfriend has blonde hair and green eyes. I was like, yeah, this is it. I was like, this is my time. And then I got catfished to thinking he was a good man.
Uh,
And that's why I'm pissed off because we'll get to that in a second. But if you read the book, you understand.
we all throw our relationship problems at book characters because honestly, per. But that's neither. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
So okay, so they go over the wall into Prithian, right? And he takes her to the spring court because he's the High Fae of the spring court. And he takes her to like this beautiful manor, and there's beautiful roses outside, right? That I believe his father planted for his mother because in Prithian, High Fae have a thing, a mating bond. I remember there's no term for that in the book, right? Is it just the mating bond?
It's just a mating bond, yeah.
Right. So they have a mating bond, and the father that was his mate, right? So Tamlin, so that comes in later. I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry. I get excited. So basically, he takes her to this beautiful manor, and in the manor, she meets another character named Lucian. And something
Sorry. And Alice. Don't forget Alice.
I was gonna mention Alice.
Okay.
Jesus. No, but I was just gonna say, so something to mention about all of these characters, because now that she's in the spring court, right, like she sees them in their high fae form. In the spring court, there's something a little weird going on. They all have, or for the most part, not all, but for the most part, they all have masks on and they never take them off. Just little. So like as it like Feyre's already has her guard up, but now she's just like, what is that?
Hashtag thank you, Amarantha. Anyway.
Yeah, like that's a little that's a little weird. So anyway, I digress. So they go into the manor and she meets Lucian. Now Lucian is like this. I am a Lucian girly, okay? I stand freaking Lucian, okay? With his like flowing long red hair, right? And his like fox-like features, like that's how they describe in the book. Like, chef's kiss. He is the son of the High Fae of the Fall Court, okay? Hashtag fuck you, Baron. But anyway, um,
We're gonna get to that in the third book. Anyway.
no, and all of his brothers. But anyway, because there's more of Lucian's, just they're not as good. So Lucian is the like right hand man of Tamlin. That is his person, that's his confidant, best friend. I would even categorize them as like almost like brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she meets all these people. She meets Alice. Alice is kind of like, she kind of becomes almost, I wouldn't say like a mother figure, but she definitely helps her out.
I would just say like an older sister.
Yeah, like she's just someone that very much is rooting for Feyre, right? Like she doesn't, she wants her to succeed in this.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, she has her reasons though, which are not as apparent in the book until like more towards the middle, right? That's like when the book peaks.
And or no, the middle. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right.
So I would say it's very fair to say that once little Miss Feyre is in Prithian and she settles down in this manor and all these things start happening, she is not happy to be there. She's like, you people are freaks. You guys are evil and you're gonna like eat me for like, am I the main course for dinner? Like, what's happening? What's going on?
She was Tamlin's main course, but anyway.
Yeah, we're already getting dirty with it. I like it. So do you want to just take it from here? I feel like I need a minute.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. My thoughts are all jumbled.
So, Feyre gets the spring court and she's like, and Tamlin's like, let's eat dinner. And she's like, hell no, your food is poison to us humans.
No, literally.
She's
Wow.
like, I'm not eating.
Meanwhile, that's the best food she's ever consumed in her life. Okay, Fae food is like ecstasy and anything else that's like probably illegal, like mixed up into a plate.
Yes, same with wine.
Yeah,
Fae
it's
wine to
like
humans is like Molly or something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
But we're gonna get to that later. That's later. So anyway, Tamlin's like, that's some like stupid old like wives' tale from the human lands. Like, just eat. She doesn't eat. I don't think she ate for like 2 days or something like that.
Yeah, she doesn't eat until she's like, I'm gonna die either way.
Yeah, literally. Literally. And Alice is putting her into spring court clothing, you know, trying to get her acclimated. She's like, "Girly, let me help you."
They're basically treating her with kindness. Like they're
Mhm.
showing her something that she would have never expected before coming. Like she thought that they were just right, like evil beings, but they're actually showing her more kindness than humans have shown her. I
Yeah.
would say.
No, absolutely. But I would say she made friends with Lucian before she made friends with Tamlin.
Yeah. But Lucian was always, I feel like, teasing. Like Lucian
Yeah.
just I don't really feel like Lucian kind of liked her in the beginning. I always got that feeling that it was just kind of like Lucian's kind of cold. I would say that. He's kind of a cold character with reason being something to mention about Lucian. Lucian has a metal eye
Mhm. Mhm.
that like whirls. I feel like she always used that word when it came to it.
Yeah.
So, which that's its own story on the side, but we'll get into that a little later on.
Yeah. Um
But as you were saying.
okay, so she's we're skipping a little bit cuz I
Mhm.
feel like you guys probably read the book, you don't need to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
Few nights in, I believe she tried to escape or something like that. She just ran out of the house and she ran into the bogies,
Mhm.
and she was like screaming for help or something like that. And but like she killed one of them. And I think that's what impressed Tamlin. He's like, "Oh, a boss."
This bitch can fight.
Yeah, but I believe Lucian came and saved her. And he was like, "Don't be freaking stupid," or whatever. And then she gets back to the house, whatever, whatever. Now, the relationship between her and Tamlin is progressing.
Yes.
Like little flirty here, little flirty there, little sassy comment here, little sassy comment there. Um, how far should
Basically,
I how far should I skip ahead?
well, I was gonna say that just to add on to your comment, basically he ends up worming his little way into that fuel of hatred. Because I feel like Sarah J. Maas does a really good job of having like, that undertone that it's just like she just hates their kind. Right. But until she starts seeing that, like I said before, their kind is good, and he manages to really embody that and show her that like this is who we are, this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
And a point for me, I don't know how far I'm skipping a little bit, but I feel like a point that she kind of really saw it was when they brought that injured fairy into the house. That for her is what gave her, at least in my opinion, and I might be skipping a couple scenes here. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I've read this book. But that for me always left an impression because I feel like that was the moment when she had true, real empathy for a fairy. And it's like, how could you not in that moment with the way Sarah J. Maas described it? It was like this agonizing, like you as the reader were even tearing up hearing the description of the pain and just the pure agony that this character was going towards. And it wasn't even a character that had been mentioned before, and you're already feeling all of this emotion
Yeah.
towards it. So it's like imagine how she was feeling seeing it as the character.
Yeah, with that, if I remember correctly, that fairy was from under the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
but the fairy is technically from the Court of Nightmares.
Yes.
We'll get into Under the Mountain later. But to backtrack a little bit, I feel like I'm wondering if that's something fair to say. Okay, because when I first read this book, I knew nothing about this series. I didn't know anything about the next book or the other books after that, right? So what I thought was gonna happen, I thought it was gonna be a love triangle between Lucian, Tamlin, and Feyre.
Ooh.
Which is stupid, I know. But that's what I thought. I don't know why. But anyway.
Honestly, I always knew Rhysand was gonna play a role. I just like I thought it was gonna be that, if I'm being honest. Like when we first meet him,
Really?
yeah, I was like, there's something more to this character. Cause him just showing up out of thin air. When he did the claw thing to her brain, I was like, yeah, there's something there. Again,
What
that's just my toxic tendencies.
See, I thought something else before that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I guess we could kind of like skip ahead to that spring court ritual.
Oh.
What is
Callum.
it called? Calenmai, yes.
Yes.
Calenmai.
Woo! That is it's a steamy
Calenmai.
little ritual, isn't it? Okay, Tiana, we get it. So, calamai. See, the fairies like to get freaky. Basically, they have needs too. So,
Um, See, I find it really funny that for the spring court to prosper and all of that, and for all like the vegetables to grow or whatever, Tamlin has to pick someone to do the nasty with.
to do the devil's tango.
But yeah, Tamlin gets in like this real animalistic type mode.
He does it in like beast mode.
Sorry, when you said beast mode, like some kind of like EDM music just started playing in the
Stop. Stop, because why can't I picture him going at it with that in the anyway,
No, you know what he would do? He would record himself playing the flute. And play it or he'd be like, Pharaoh, what do you think
it
I'm
was the fiddle. It was the fiddle.
the fiddle?
No, but wait, hold on, because we're getting ahead of ourselves. Something to mention about Calamai. Calamai, she was not supposed to come. Okay? That is so she sneaks in, and this is where we meet everyone's freaking book talk baby daddy, Rhysand. Okay? Rhysand is met here. The man with the violet eyes. This is my book husband, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. However, I am partial to Asriel. Will always take on top of Rhysand. Don't worry, I was gonna correct it, but I do love Rhysand. Like I know I talk a lot of shit, but like no, you could have him. When it comes to the other bad boys, Asriel. No, I have ownership of him, and yes, I will use the word ownership over Asriel because that is my man. Okay, this is my husband, baby daddy, whatever you want to call it.
Enjoy
My man. Him and his shadows. Okay, those are mine. For my little shadow baby. But anyway. So at Calamai, she meets Mr. Rhysand, all sexy, mysterious with his violet eyes, and his like I don't know if she saw the tattoos in Calamai. I don't remember.
That is the like sexiest man I've ever seen in my life.
No, literally. And mind you, she's already like in Goo Goo Love with like Tamlin, but like when Rhysand appears, she's like, "Ooh, what is blonde? Give me this like even haired violet man. It's giving emo. I want it." So she meets Rhysand, and then Rhysand's all like, I like it, Picasso. He's all smooth with it. He's all like, okay. Add your little side note because I know I'm missing something.
And I quote, "There you are. I've been looking for you."
Like, he always had the best lines. Like, Rhysand was just that dude. Like, okay. Anyway.
I just know that man like reads poetry and he's like, I could say that to Feyre to make her day. Like in the least cringiest way possible.
Rhysand is like the perfect man. Like society could never. There's no such thing as a Rhysand in real life. And that hurts me to the core. Because I know he doesn't exist. And I know I can't have him. But it's fine. It's fine. I just go on living knowing that the rest of the men in this society are subpar and just right under that, just really
right under.
Yeah, no, the bar's in hell.
30 floors down.
No, it's
Make
in.
it 100.
Anyway, so yeah, so she's in Calamine. She meets, Mr. Baby Daddy Rice, and Tamlin's all like trying to get freaky, freaky, right? And I do believe that Feyre is drunk on the wine. I don't know if it was
Not
this.
yet. Not
No,
yet.
sorry, not this festival. Sorry, there's a lot of festivals that happen in this book.
But no. So what happened? Oh my god, my computer almost fell. Let's not do that
I was
right now.
getting excited over Rhysand.
No, me too, girly. Me too. Anyway, back to Tamlin's book. It's fine. So Tamlin goes all beast mode and he's like, the reason why he doesn't want Feyre near Calanmai is because he's like, I will smell you and I'll want you and I'm gonna do unimaginable things to you. Okay?
Is it just me, or was his sex always like minimum?
Wait, time out. He's like the I'll get to that in a second, okay? Cause
Yeah, because his sex was always described as like, eh.
no, cause I agree. He's like unimaginable things. Oh my god, like stay away. And then he's like the wall for 10 seconds. And when I first read it, I was like, like literally like fan the boy. And then actually I think I have it tabbed. Okay. His painted chest rising and falling so close to mine. I searched for you and you weren't there because he smelled her. Anyway, apologies. I get very heated about this book. I'm very passionate about this
Yeah,
book.
I love it. I love to see it. That's me with the next book. Like, I love this book, but the next, but that's my shit. That's my favorite book of all the books I've read. And if you know me, you know I've read a lot. Like,
period though. That is a good book.
no, she did her thing with that. I think that is the only times that a sequel has actually been better than the first book.
Unfortunately.
As you were saying.
Tamlin's always giving mid. Anyway, so
if he had a wingspan, his would be pigeon. I'm sorry, that was an intrusive thought.
flying rat. Anyway, it's fine. So that's Calanmai. And like the next day, she had like a hickey on her neck or something, and Lucian was like,
I know what you did.
Yeah. But anyway, fast forward a little bit. Or actually maybe backtrack. I don't remember. I read this book a minute ago too. But basically, okay, before Calanmai, I feel like Calanmai was kind of like a climaxing point in this book. Because that's when like all the tension kind of like built up to, if that makes sense. So, there was like the pond, Tamlin's like, oh my god, look at this beautiful like starry
Bro,
pond.
that was cute. I'll give him that. That was cute.
No, it was cute. But once again, nothing like Rhysand.
Yes, I get it. We hate Tamlin. We love Rhysand.
Anyway.
I get it. Okay. Straight up. Those in the comments. If you can leave a comment on this video if you're watching it on YouTube, because I don't know if you can leave a comment on Spotify. Do you say Rhysand or Rhysand? Rice or Reese? Just let us know, okay? Because I know I pronounce it differently, but I know other people that pronounce it how I pronounce it. And I know people that pronounce it how Tiana pronounces it. So I'm genuinely curious to know what your consensus is. So leave a comment, please.
Rhysand.
Rhysand. But anyway.
It's fine. So we could debate about this for like 30 minutes, but that's neither here nor there. So
we'll let the comment section debate it.
Yeah, that's going to be a very heated topic. I'm
excited. We will be checking the comments and getting involved. So
yes. But whatever, this is like the climax of their tension. Excuse me. And after that, if I remember correctly, Tamlin's like kind of cold towards her.
It's because he was always going fucking back and forth. But knowing the circumstance, we can't blame the man for not wanting to get attached to anyone.
It's giving bottom, but anyway, it's fine. So fast forward.
Rhysand comes to the house. Because I'm almost sure that happens soon after Calamai, right? Because she's like, that's the guy from Calamai.
Yes.
This is when Feyre truly, truly meets Mr. Rhysand in the flesh, without the darkness hiding his true features, and she's all like, oh my god, that's the man that I met. And she is sadly disappointed when he shows that he is the villain in the story. Or at least she thinks he's the villain in the story, right? Because Tamlin could do no wrong. Tamlin is the White Knight. So yeah. So Rhysand comes, and he comes bearing, basically in her eyes, cryptic news. Because like she's not really aware of what's happening.
Wait, sorry.
Mhm.
You have to. Okay, so Farah's been. I forgot the word. Basically, she didn't see how Prithian was truly because Tamlin did some kind of magic on her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
Right?
about?
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. So when Rhysand came again, he was like, I smelled a human girl. You know, the whole thing. And oh my god, what is that monster's name?
Which one? The Ator?
The adder, yes. The adder. Anyway, so I love the way you said that. It sounded so fancy.
I love how we both have different ways for every fucking thing in this book, but it's fine.
Okay, it's fine. We're viewers just accept it. So the adder comes, but she can't see it. She just hears it. And she's like, what the like what's happening? So, anyway, fast forward a minute or two. Unless you want to add something.
I was just gonna talk about in the meeting how she felt his like claw, because Mr. Rhysand, like this is where you also find out Rhysand has his own beast form that he takes into, and she feels it in her actual skull, because Rhysand has this cute little ability that he can go into your mind and shatter it. So he like kind of just took like his claws and was all like purr kitty purr on her mind, going like Monty, Jace. So he was doing all that like goodness to her mind, and she's like, no, this bitch is evil. Like he's scary. And also something to also note that we also get a glimpse into who Rhysand is, quotes, around that in the book when Lucian's all like, what's up, Amarantha's whore?
That's a curse word in my book. Anyway.
Excuse me for my explicit content, but it had to be said. Because the way I get pissed off, like I get so fucking heated when anyone says he's a whore in the book, because like I'll go back and like read like A Court of Thorns and Roses, because it's a comfort read, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, like you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry for my language, but it just makes me so angry, because it's like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about
Can I
at all.
ahead a little bit?
Yes, please do.
Don't you find it funny that Amarantha was after Tamlin this entire time, and he could not do what Rhysand did for 50 years?
Yeah, no, Rhysand. I would never ever take away that Rhysand is the true hero in the book.
Mhm.
All I'm saying, if this is about the redemption arc, all I'm saying is that Tamlin deserves somewhat of a second chance in a separate book. But to say that Tamlin's a hero of any sort, no. Rhysand did what no one else would do. That just shows his character. I rest my case.
Anyway. We have to mention the cereal.
Oh, I love him. Serial Tico, okay? Because man's always spilling the fucking tea.
I have 2 stickers on my laptop. I literally have one, like, right by the keyboard, and I have one on the back that
Or-
says the Cereal Tea Company.
No, because man's comes with the fucking piping hot tea every time. He will
Every
serve every time.
well, sorry, period. Period. But, um, Feyre first catches him with chicken,
Yeah.
which sends me every time. Like, I just find that so funny. And he's all like, "Stay with the High Lord." And
Wrong bitch. You got the right idea, but the wrong bitch.
yeah, Feyre was like, "I got you," and she's like, I'll stay with Tamlin. I'll stay with Tamlin."
But see, here's my thing. The surreal, he knew what he was doing. You could have been a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more clear, you know?
oh,
Like the
100%.
Jersey accent coming out. Because what was that? What was that?
He wanted drama, and he got it.
No, literally. I just know man's was sitting back, literally sipping a cup of fucking tea, being like, this bitch is dumb. Like, hurry the fuck up, Feyre. What are we doing?
Yep. Yep. Okay, so skipping ahead a little bit. So the reason why Tamlin wanted Feyre there as a human was because Amarantha, an evil general from Highburn,
Mm-hmm.
put a curse on Prithian, or on the Spring Court specifically.
Yeah.
No,
Well, she put a curse on Prithian, but she also cursed the Spring Court. Because basically she wanted, if I'm wrong, totally like pointed out. I believe she wanted an agreement, not an agreement, an allegiance with Tamlin. I don't remember if it was a marriage or not, or just an agreement, but she was hoping for marriage. Basically, she wanted Tamlin, right?
yeah.
And Tamlin was all like, "No, I'm a pass because you're evil." So she decided to host this like party in the Spring Court, and basically, she ended up cursing the entire Spring Court people. I can't think of the word. Yeah, with a mask because she decided to host a masquerade. Right? That's why throughout the beginning of the book, Tamlin has a mask on. So, little Miss Miranda did all this because she's all like, I'm angry, and you have 50 years
49.
to
7 by 7.
7 by 7, 49 years to have someone fall in love with you, make a human fall in love with a fairy, right? But you cannot tell them anything about this. They have to fall in love with you willingly,
Mhm.
right? Am I correct or am I off?
You missed a little tiny thing.
Oh,
So you have to make a human girl with a heart full of hate
there we
for
go.
Fae to fall in love with you.
Yes, it's giving it is giving like Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's fine. Anyway, I digress. So basically, she, like Tana said, a human girl full of hate, falling in love with you. So Tamlin's all like, okay, her, I got this. So, what does Tamlin do to get to the humans? He sends out wolves, fairies, looking like wolves, to the human realm, right? Any girl, he's waiting for someone to kill it so he can go collect. Basically, a series of unfortunate events happens with these wolves, and they just never, he loses them left and right, and it's still nothing. So finally, at like the last moment, little Miss Feyre is all like with her bow and arrow, shoots it, kills it, and now she's here with Tamlin trying to fight this curse. So
Yeah.
that is little Miss Amarantha's beginning story. Tiana, I know you're dying to add something. I see it.
Sorry, sorry.
No, girl.
So when like time is up while Fair is there, Tamlin sends her back to the human world.
Yes.
And Tamlin says, "I love you." And all Feyre had to do was
Say
say,
it.
"I love you" back. But she just stood there like,
And she wanted to say it. That's the part that killed, like, it literally killed something inside of me.
I
Because,
was
like,
so
just say it.
mad. I was so
Say
mad.
it.
Yeah, just say it. Literally, you could have avoided everything.
I was low-key curious to know what would have happened if she actually would have said it. Like, what
That would be the end of the book.
would Amarantha just, like, exploded in flames? Would she have melted like the Wicked Witch of the West? Like, I was curious.
Well, her and Rhys would probably still be stuck with her. So I'm
No,
glad
she
she
needed to save Rice. Got me saying Reese. Rice. She needed to save him. But
white rice or brown rice.
anyway, Rice is under the mountain, as we know. But anyway, so he sends Feyre back into the human world. And basically, she's all set up now, right? Like, he took care of her family while she was in Prythian because that was one of her main concerns at the beginning of the book.
He being Tamlin, sorry.
Yes, Tamlin took care of her family. So when she gets back, she's all kind of like depressed because she's like, well, now I'm back here and it's giving bland and giving sad. Like, where's the color? Where's the flavor? Where's the sauce? It's missing all of it. And so she's like, where's Mr. Tamlin? Like, where's that good dick every night? Like, everything is missing. So, Tiana, if you'd like to take it away.
Okay, so I would love to give a little shout out to Nesta.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
she came back, Nesta was like, do you love him? And she's like, yeah. And Nesta's like, then go get him.
can we just talk? Like, Nesta knew. Like, right off the bat, she was just like, I know something.
Yeah. And that's because Tamlin came back to give them everything.
Yeah.
And it was just so nice of him. So Nesta was like,
Like, I get it.
yeah. So anyway, Faye was like, fine. Oh my god. Sorry. I have like a little light and it just like turns off after a little bit. If it would turn back on, that would be lovely. Technical difficulties. There you go. So anyway, lovely. Basically, she makes the 3-day trek or however long back over the wall to Prythian. Now, important to say, when she comes back, Springcourt is gone.
Yeah, things look a little different than they did before.
Yeah. She's like, what the hell happened? So she runs into Alice, and Alice is like,
I gotta go.
yeah, Alice is like, I gotta go save my nephews. Like,
Basically, she's fleeing. Like, Feyre catches her fleeing from the manor because she's like, this place is going to hell. You gotta get out.
yeah. So, you know, Farah is like, where did everyone go? What's going on? Explain. Lovely little Alice. I imagine her as like a miniature, like wide tree stump, if that makes sense, with like super cute leaves and a super cute little apron.
Oh, period.
She's like she's adorable in my mind. But anyway.
I always picture with little glasses, like little round glasses.
Yes! Like it's giving like
Fairy godmother.
Yeah, fairy godmother. Period. I like that. Anyway, Alice is like, okay, so this is the curse. 49 years. Tamlin had to make a human girl with hate in her heart fall in love with a fae. And if that didn't happen, Prythian is fucked. So,
I like how you just
Prythian, what?
I like how you just said that. Fuck.
Listen. Because we're trying to keep it as PG as possible.
My freaking trucker mouth. Anyway.
No, literally. I have to bleep myself so hard. Anyway. So, Farah's like, oh crap, where can I go find them? Alice is like, you gotta go under the mountain. And she's like, okay, how far is that? And Alice is like, it's so far, but there is a shortcut through the side, through the spring court or something like that. And Farah's like, okay, purr. Farah goes in through the side, gets caught by the adder. I think. Because Fae can smell humans very well. So now she's under the mountain. She is brought presented in front of Amarantha, and Amarantha is like, we missed a major part.
Which part?
When Feyre was back in the human world, Rhys came to visit and he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Claire Better, her neighbor. Then she goes under the mountain. Whose dead body is hanging? Claire Better's. Because when she came back, she saw that Claire Better's house was burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
And the first thing she sees under the mountain, other than freaking Amarantha and the Adder, is Claire's dead body hanging.
But no, he never came to her in the human world. That was during the meeting when he was in her mind. He was trying because they wouldn't tell him her name. Remember? And he was like, "Give me a name," and she did. And then when she went back to the human realm, she saw that the house had burned down. And then when she went under the mountain, that's when she put everything together. That was
Yeah,
the
you're right.
thing.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yes, period. Look at us helping each other.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah. So she walks in, she sees Amarantha. Don't even get me started. And she sees Tamlin duct taped, hands behind his back, like depressed as frick. And Amarantha's like, screw you, basically. Like, she's like, because Alice specifically told Feyre, do not make deals with Fae. So Feyre, of course, being the very intelligent young woman she is, she's like, I'm gonna strike a deal with Amarantha to save Prythian. And Amarantha's like, if you pass these 3 trials, I'll set everyone free. And you as well. But if you don't, everyone remains under the mountain, under my control, and you die.
Wait, you're missing one thing.
What?
The riddle that she gives her a choice, right? The 3 trials, or if you can solve the riddle, then everything just goes back.
I thought the 3rd trial was the riddle.
No, was it the riddle?
I
Because I remember her giving her the choice. Because remember, she would always think about it. Because she's like, if I could just think of the riddle, all of this would be over.
Yeah, but what was? Oh, you're right. I know why I thought of that. It's because when she finished the 3 trials, Amarantha was like, "You still didn't solve the riddle."
Yeah, she kind of went back because she wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got you. Thank you for the reminder. So the first trial was the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
Stop! I love those memes so much because they're so true. That's what I pictured.
No, literally. Because the entire time I was just thinking of SpongeBob, but like more brutal.
With ears.
Yeah. Second trial
Was the
was reading. Poor illiterate girl.
So, can we just talk about this specific trial real quick?
Mhm.
So during this trial, so as we all know, Little Miss Feyre is very strong, very agile, very smart for her age.
Mhm.
One little flaw about Feyre is that Miss Girl cannot read literally to save her life.
No, literally.
So she's kind of has like these 3 levers, I believe, and she has to pick the correct one based on the passages on the wall, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
So she's all like, okay, I'll just guess, right? Like it's got to be A, B, or C. Always go with C because C is always correct kind of mentality.
Yeah, but I feel like we should mention. Sorry, I feel like we should mention that Lucian is in the process of getting crushed.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Okay, so Lucian, because Lucian had helped her prior. See, Lucian did more than Tamlin. This is what gets me with Tamlin in this book because it's like everyone was willing to do their part except that bitch. Like he really stayed fucking silent for no reason.
Yeah. Even Lucian's mom.
Yeah. Well, she comes after the scene because she's all like, "Thanks for saving my child."
Mm-hmm.
But wait, because I thought someone reads the passage to her. Was it Rhysand?
Okay, so Rhys has Daemati powers, which means he can read people's minds and talk to them through the vibes. Okay, so do you like this? This
No,
is
yeah.
Daemati to me. Anyway.
I always picture like a blue wispy smoke. I don't know.
No,
Okay.
same. Yeah. And when Rhys does it, I just imagine like a shadow of a claw on top of their head.
Love it.
Anyway, sorry. Sorry.
Wait.
Um okay, so basically I believe Amarantha says the question or whatever, and she has to choose one of the three. And whenever Feyre would reach for the wrong one, her hand would like burn.
Yeah, yeah.
And Reese is like, no, try again. So she would go for the second one, and he's like, try again. Third one, he's like, okay.
Per.
Yeah. And then that's how Lucian is saved from the big crushing machine.
Oh, hold on. Did we skip over when Rice made a deal with her, or we're not with that yet?
Oh, we skipped it.
Yeah, okay. So, fun little fact. Once she's under the mountain, they kind of keep her in like this cellar sort of thing, right? Like chained. She is a true prisoner with Amarantha. So, little Mr. Rhysand is all like, I'm gonna go take a visit to the prisoner, right? And in Feyre's mind, this man is just beyond evil. She's all like, I hate you, get away from me. Meanwhile, he's there trying to be like, let me help you. Like, I want you to succeed. So he strikes a deal. I believe I'm almost was it in the beginning that he strikes a deal? I genuinely do not remember.
No, okay, so she defeats the worm. Do we want to get into that?
No, it's fine. I just thought wait, is that that's not the eye yet. It's not the eye yet. That eye tattoo on her palm.
Okay, let
Is
me
that
explain. So, what happens is Feyre defeats the worm, but almost dies because
yes.
the worm is basically lives in crap and like bones. So to defeat the worm, Feyre snapped a bone, put it in the ground, got the worm to go over it. Worm basically killed itself. Now, she cut her arm on a bone. Now, what happens when you have a massive gash and a broken arm that's not treated while you're basically rolling in crap? It gets infected. She got a massive infection, fever, on her deathbed. Rhys comes down. He's like, listen, girly, you're gonna die if you don't take this deal. And Farrah's like, I've made too many deals with Faye. I can't. And then, sorry, the drama just came out.
No, I
Um,
love it.
so Rhys is like, don't be stupid, take it. So she takes it. Tattoo on
There
the
we go.
So she believes that Rhys can see through the hand, through the eye on her hand, which helps him help her pick the lever. There you go. Continue. Sorry.
I was a little confused. Okay. So basically they strike a deal. So then after the second trial, like we said, Lucian's mother comes, and I forgot what she does something for Feyre as well, as a thank you for saving her son's life. Do you remember what she does?
Do you want me to explain?
Yes, please go into it. You're good with tiny details.
Yeah. I don't know why, because I have probably a worse memory than you do, but it's fine. So the reason why Lucian got stuck in the crushing machine is because during the first trial, he was like to the right or something like that. And then Amarantha was like, "Oh, you're friends? You're gonna die."
No, no,
So
no.
puts her in this thing. Feyre saves him again. Excuse me. Then while she's down in the dungeon. I don't know what's happening. While she's down in the dungeon, the guards are like, "Oh, you have to clean the floor," but they give her like no cleaning tools, and she's dirty herself. Something like that.
Mm.
So or maybe they give her like a small bird. I don't remember exactly, but basically she had to clean the floor and it was impossible. Lucian's mother is like, clean. And she's like, take that as a thank you. And, sashays away.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys read Dork Diaries as a kid. You've never read Dork Diaries? Okay. If you read Dork Diaries, you know sashays away. Besides the point, though. It's like, what are you talking about?
No insane. I feel like I looked into it as a kid. I don't know if I ever read it though. Now I'm curious.
No, Dork Diaries was my thing. Dork Diaries and Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I read the blue one for some reason. Never read any other one but the blue one.
Oh, period. Okay.
I don't know why.
Pop off. Was it the one, like, Cabin Fever?
Yeah, it was something about a cabin.
Yeah, Cabin Fever. Anyway, I don't know how I remember that. I read that in 3rd grade. I'm like 20 years old. Anyway.
No, you're going with small details. Part.
Not with anything else, though.
No, it's fine. Girl, shut up. That's still not true. But anyway, back to Lucian's mom. Help. Oh my god, stop, because the tea on her is so piping, but like that is for a different day.
That's for not next episode, the episode after that.
Low-key love her though for it. I'm like, period.
Oh, I'm like, kisses.
I'm like, we were not quiet for a reason. But anyway, so do you want to continue explaining, or do you want me to?
The second trial?
Yeah. Wait. No, are we on the 3rd?
Yeah, we're on the 3rd.
Okay, you can explain it.
Okay, so basically, 3rd trial, she has to kill. I wrote this down because I always forget this one. Hold on. Okay, so the 3rd trial consisted of murdering 3 fae by driving an ash dagger into their hearts. This man was the first of them, and then the other 2 were from like the summer court and the winter court, and they were little kids.
That was the worst part of that book, dude.
Not little kids, but like one was they were younger.
Yeah.
I remember reading that and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And then
she did
it. Yeah, she did it. And she was like, it's for the greater good. I mean, like, good for her. Good for her. She saved them, but like,
wait,
rip my heart out.
We're missing a huge part.
I think I'm about to get to that.
No, when she goes to the party with Rhys and Tamlin closet, we're missing that. That is a huge part of their story. Hold on. Let's rewind. Okay.
Yeah.
So, after one of the trials, I do not remember which one, full transparency. Do you remember after which trial it was?
1st and 2nd.
Okay. Rhysand's all like, you're gonna be basically my doll, and I'm gonna dress you, and you're gonna be the person that walks with me in these events.
Wait. Can I interrupt you super fast?
Yes. But if you're gonna mention Sedwina and the other one.
Her name? Nuala.
Yes.
Nuala.
Yes.
And what's the other one?
Wasn't it Sedwina? I don't know why I'm thinking that.
Nuala and Peregrine, I thought.
Hold on. You keep explaining. I'm gonna look up the names because I'm almost sure. I don't know where Sedwina from.
Since Rhysand struck that deal with her, and that deal was that once they got out of there, she would have to see him like a week out of every month. But for now, he would take her out of the cell every night as like his own little doll for the parties after each trial. Okay? So after the first trial, Rhys gives her. Now, people have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'll explain mine. So after the first trial, like I said, Rhys strikes that deal. She accepts it, whatever. Rhys sends Nuala and Peregrine. I believe that's their names. Or Aragorn.
Where did I get Sedwina from? Like,
what is it?
I can't find it.
It's Nuala. Put Nuala ACOTAR and it should come up. Anyway, sorry. Nuala. Sorry.
Yeah, I spelled that right.
Apologies.
Yeah, and Saradwin.
Saragwin.
There we go. I knew I wasn't crazy. I don't know where I got Sedwina from, but it was Saradwin.
No period though. What was I saying? Okay, so Rhys, to make it easier on her, puts her in these like skimpy clothes and like draws all over. Well, Nuala and Saragwin do. And in these like cloths, basically, not even clothes.
I always think of like Empress dresses with like the super high, literally the slits are to her hips on both legs. So it's literally just covering her like front area. And these tiny, tiny little like straps that like show everything. She's showing cleavage, you know? And like basically it's all skin, but like just like a tiny little dress covering. And she's all like on his arm and he's all like, I got you, you know? As they're walking into the party.
Yeah, and she's like drinking Fae wine, so she's like just dancing her life away, like
But
loopy out of it.
Quick little side note: who's on the throne watching this? Little Mr. Tamlin, who doesn't make eye contact with her throughout the whole freaking book. Honestly, at this point, he just doesn't look at her. He decides to just not acknowledge her existence. Okay. So during these parties, no eye contact. Although, like, I think it's briefly mentioned that it's like, he's feeling some sort of way about her walking in looking all like that with Rhysand. So I'm gonna let you do little details because I don't remember how it happens, but they end up in the closet, and that to me,
Not the closet, the
not the
hallway.
closet. The hallway, and that to me pisses me off because you're not gonna look at her, you're not gonna try and help her in the trials, but the moment you get to like have the devil's tango with her, you're taking your chances.
Stick it in, yeah.
Like it's giving pigeon wingspan. Anyway, I'm gonna let you take it away. That was my piece.
Thanks.
Sorry.
This was red flag. This was like the part because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I was rooting for Tamlin this entire time.
We all were. Everyone loved Tamlin the first book. It's after the first book that it's like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was like, Tamlin.
Like,
And
I'm
then
your
he pulled
bitch.
this. And then he pulled this, and I was like, no.
This
So
wasn't a red flag. This was a burning flag. The flag was on fire.
it was,
Okay?
yeah, it was not a good flag.
Like,
Okay?
the flag was not there.
No. It was just a torch at that point, but that's neither here nor there.
Like that.
So, basically, Rhys, before he gave her the wine, he just like took her around the room. Tamlin and her made eye contact. Tamlin was like, I got a boner. Let me use it. They sneak away into the hallway. And he like pushes her up against the wall and he's like, oh my god, I missed you. Or whatever BS he said. I don't even think he said anything. I think he just got down to it.
Honestly, pigeon wingspan. Micro.
Jump. Anyway, I got so mad at this part. I remember I was like, I was literally in the pool and I was like floating in the pool, like kicking my legs while reading this. And I was like, I shut the book. I was like, I'm gonna take a few laps and I'll come back to it. But anyway,
what's going on? What's happening?
Literally, I was like, the audacity this man has, not even to ask if she's okay. He just gets straight into it, and then Rhys walks in the hallway and he's like, what do you think you're doing? Removes them, literally physically separates them, and he's like, Tamlin, you're lucky I'm the one that walked in and not Amarantha. Takes Feyre. I will go through all the sisters' names before I say Feyre's name. Feyre away. Tamlin goes back, and now he's like all brooding and.
Well, he couldn't get off. So now he's all done.
Sucks to suck. I don't know. Your lover is dying, and you just.
No, because as long as there's a freaking entrance between her legs. That's all he cares about, like any man. But we don't talk about that. Well, we do actually in this podcast. Let's just get into it. That is a red flag, ladies. Okay, if he is not willing to talk to you about anything else besides that, leave him. Leave him now, because what is that? We are more than just our bodies. Okay, it's 2023. Anyway,
No, I how can I explain this without going on a tangent? Basically, if all he's trying to do is get in between your legs, kick him in between his. Anyway,
no, because that'll do it. That'll
yeah,
do it.
that's a very short, sweet, simple.
No, just some quick little unsolicited advice. It's not going to change. And you sleeping with him, you're just giving him what he wants, and he will most likely leave you. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's just honest truth. That is a fact. He will most likely leave you because he
And
doesn't see you
now,
as a person. He sees
yeah,
you as an object to get off on.
as a whole, yeah, and that sounds terrible.
But it's the
But
truth.
yeah, now, if you just want like a fuck buddy, pop off.
Yeah, no, no
Okay.
judgment, pop off. But if you are someone looking for a not a romantic relationship, but a real relationship, like you
Mhm.
want it to last, don't do it.
Yeah, make him wait a little bit.
This might sound really bad, and honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in today's society, sex is almost, as a woman, that's your poker card. That's your ace. You give it up too easily or you give it up too fast, you already lost the game.
See, but
Depending on the scenario. If you're looking for a true romantic lasting relationship, yeah, I'm going to say that's my piece on that. Don't give it up too quick.
now I know a lot of, one night stands that, turned into relationships that are still going. But
I know a lot of people who have done it too quickly and never got a call back.
that's the thing. It's not, we're not saying that you don't respect yourself or anything like that. If you do that or sleep with them,
Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just
yeah,
giving you my unsolicited opinion. No one asked for it, but
yeah.
that's just what I would say to a friend. If I had a friend that was going through something like that, I would just say don't give it up too easily.
Use it as your,
Use it as your ace, dude.
yeah, like, because first of all, if they just truly wanted like something good with you, they would be
Oh
willing
wait,
to wait.
yes.
Now, if you don't want to wait,
Well then pop off.
pop off. You do you.
Basically, you're in control. You have full control. What I'm trying to get at is don't feel pressured to have sex with a man just
Exactly.
because he wants to have sex.
Yeah.
You have full control of when you give up that card.
Yeah.
That is your card to give up because it is your body to do with as you, keyword you, please.
Sure.
And that is my piece of the day. But yeah, please don't take what I said wrong before. That is really what I'm just trying to get at.
Yeah.
That is your card to hold and to give as you please. You are in control of your body. Because I feel like in this society, which we're not really going to get into because that's a whole fucking thing on its own, we still have control over our bodies, ladies. Please don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It is your body.
Period. Period.
Anyway, as you were saying.
Anyway, Tamlin being a little bitch again. Um, Rhys, I feel like even in that scenario, Rhys was a little disappointed in him.
Yeah, because it was disappointing. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Not for
Yeah.
nothing. You would think you haven't talked to her, you haven't looked at her in all of this time. You finally get the balls to do it, to actually take her into like a private area and have a moment together. Wouldn't you want to know how she's doing? Wouldn't you want to know what her plan is? Wouldn't you want to know how she got there? Like, there's other questions to be asked.
Yeah. I remember when I first read this book, I didn't have any friends that read it, so who do I talk to? My lovely boyfriend. As a male, I wanted his opinion on it. And I was like, listen, I know you're not going to really have any background, but just like imagine this scenario. I was like, imagine, and I explained the situation and whatever, whatever. And he was like, in that kind of situation, the last thing I would think about is like sleeping with you. I was like, okay, what would be like? He would be like, I would probably ask you if you're okay. And he was like, I would definitely be trying to get to you too. I wouldn't be just sitting there. I would be like, verbatim, he was like, I would probably be fighting to see you. I wouldn't just be sitting there, even if it was like risking my own life type thing. He's like, because if I knew you were hurt like that, the first thing I would want to do is go get you.
But see, that's a man.
Tamlin? Tampon.
Tampon is just the legit, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the
Bottom bitch.
no, like like I want to say like he encompasses. I just can't think of the word, but he encompasses the selfishness of the male population.
Yes.
And not that I'm generalizing and saying all men are selfish, but most, I would say most, at least the ones I've come across, are insanely selfish. And Tamlin is no different than that. He just cares about himself.
Yeah.
And his court and his things. And I get it. It's important to you. But Feyre has feelings.
And she's fighting to save your court.
Literally, she's doing the legwork. At least give her some credit. At least say thank you. That's a nut. Like, where was her thank you in that moment before he was all trying to like rip her clothes off? How about a thank you for doing the trials, Feyre?
Nothing.
You're not even a fae, but thank you.
Yeah, and she's human during all of this too.
Like, you're doing what I can't do. How about that? That's what he should have owned up. You're doing what I cannot do.
Yup. Nope. She got zilch. She got pawing at her clothes.
No, and then in the next book, he's all like, we did it together. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. That was her.
Wait. We'll get to that in a second. Let's like finish up the trials.
Sorry for my little tangent. But we just love a man who takes credit for a woman's work. Anyway.
Literally, basically the entirety of history. Oh my god. But that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Now, to get back to the trials, like I said, she has to stab 3 fae. But Amarantha threw in a little plot twist, shock, and she's like, stab Tamlin.
Honestly, pop off. No, just kidding.
It was at that moment Amarantha was a girl's girl. No. Just kidding. Amarantha is a terrible person. I do not like her at all. I'm glad she died. Honestly though, that's not controversial at all. She was a terrible person.
No, bitch needed to go.
Yeah. But she's like stab Tamlin, and Ashwood is like kryptonite to Faye. And Feyre's like, I can't stab him, I'll kill him, I can't do that, I don't want to kill him, blah blah blah. And she's like, has this internal debate of like, you know, like, I don't want to kill him, I love him, whatever. Now, something clicks in lovely little illiterate Feyre's mind. Words are not working for me either, apparently. Feyre remembers Alice saying he has a heart of stone. She remembers Rhys's conversation with Feyre, with Lucien and Tamlin, I believe, saying he has a heart of stone. And then there was like a third one, I think. Something about a heart of stone. And then she remembered laying with him and not hearing a heartbeat or something like that. And she goes, that's part of the curse. He quite literally has a heart of stone. So she's like, okay, stabs him, he survives. Now, Amarantha's not happy that she figured it out.
I just know Rice was. He was like,
Rice was like, that's my girl.
Do it again.
No, literally. But like for real.
Like, don't like go for the jugular, sweetie.
Yeah. It's fine. I just know we'll get to that in the second one. That's not for now. Anyway, Amarantha is not happy again. She's like,
when is this bitch ever happy?
No. Because she didn't think a human girl can do it. So Amarantha proceeds to use her powers to quite literally like rip her in half. And I don't know if you remember reading that scene.
But I thought she snapped her neck.
Yeah, but she's, like, pulling. Like, that's how it's described as, like, she feels like she's being pulled apart.
Oh, right, right, right. Wait, wait,
Like,
wait. What about the answer to the riddle?
um,
Because that's before she dies.
hold on. Hold on.
What are you looking for?
Me literally looking through my book because I know I marked it.
I don't remember what the riddle was, but I remember the answer.
No, so I don't remember the riddle exactly, but it's like, let me Google it. You want to explain?
Okay, so basically, like in the beginning of the before the trial started, she gave her the option, like we said before, 3 trials or the riddle, right? So throughout this whole thing, she's going over this riddle over and over and over again, and she just doesn't know the solution until all that craziness happens. And
Mhm.
she's like, wait a minute, the answer, of course, it would be this love. Love is the answer.
Yeah. Um,
Peace.
huh?
Say your piece.
Sorry, when I go like this and open my mouth, you just know. I
Yeah, that's why.
apologize. But yeah, so Amarantha was like, "Oh, you how dare you, human girl or whatever like that." And she's like, "You have to solve the riddle now." While she's literally like pulling her apart. So the riddle was, there are those who seek me a lifetime but never we meet, and those I kiss but who trample me beneath ungrateful feet. At times I seem to favor the clever and the fair, but I bless all those who are brave enough to dare. The answer is love. Now, I'm not sure if you figured that out immediately when you heard it, but I knew immediately. Because I was like, what is this entire story about? Love.
I had an inkling, but I wasn't like fully I wasn't fully aware.
Mm, okay. Per. But yeah, so the because it was like a Fae deal, Amarantha couldn't deny the fact that she solved the riddle, but Pharaoh was like, love, quite literally taking her dying breath as she said it. So the curse broke. Everyone got their powers back, or like some of it, because it's been gone for so long that, they needed to regain their strength, but they had something back. Now, Pharaoh's dead, but Amarantha's alive, and everyone has their powers back. Now, Tamlin finally opens his stupid half beast, half man mouth and is like, my love. Like sobbing next to her. And I'm like, oh, look who decided to wake up.
No, literally.
Yeah. And Farah's at this point, now this is important. There was a scene when she was about to die or something like that where she saw herself through Rhys's eyes. This is important. Now, she died. For the millionth time she died. She's
It's
dead.
like a cat. She just has 9 lives. Like
Yeah, for real. Because everyone keeps saving her. Thank God, though.
no,
She's
literally.
literally queen. She is looking at her body, like her soul from the sky is looking at her dead, broken neck body. And she sees Tamlin crying, like literally begging everyone, please do something, please do something, please bring her back.
It
Something.
was Rice that did that.
Wait, wait. Tamlin's like sobbing. Rhys sobbing. Amarantha shook. I don't really remember what she was doing, but she's probably like, shit. Anyway, what happens is all the High Lords, because they have so much respect for Feyre, unlike Tampon, but that's neither here nor there. They had so much respect for Feyre that all of them give them like a little seed of their power, and she is brought back as Fae.
essentially a High Fae, right? Because she has all the powers of the High Fae.
Exactly.
Very powerful young
Yes.
lady right there.
Yes.
And immortal.
Immortal, yes. Excuse me. Now, did I miss anything?
I thought Amarantha died before they brought her back, but I don't know if I'm just like into Lululand right now.
Mm,
Because I thought when she died, Tamlin killed Amarantha, and then Rice was the one begging them to put like their magic in her. That's what I thought happened. I don't know why I'm remembering it that way. But if I'm off, then I'm off.
no, hold on. I just um
Because I know it's Tamlin that killed her.
okay, so if you go on page 408, I'm bringing up receipts.
Her. No, if I'm off, I'm off.
Okay, no, I don't think you are. Um um
Yeah, Tamlin, with all his power back, attacks and kills Amarantha, but not before she
mhm,
breaks Feyre's neck. Feyre is dead.
mhm, yes. And then he goes, it was the only way we could save you, Tamlet said softly, blah 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 blah. Um there was there beneath Claire's decaying body was Amarantha, her mouth gaping as the sword protruded from her brow. Her throat was gone. Oh yeah, because Tamlin ripped out her throat.
That's what I'm saying. Because he wasn't sobbing next to her body. I don't remember that. I remember him being angry. Like he was like, "You did all of this. Like I have my power back. I'm just going full beast mode
Yeah,
once
no,
again." Killed
period.
Amarantha, but Rhysand was the one begging them, like, "Please say, like, bring her back."
Yes, but
Right? Sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Because I was gonna say, because remember in the second, I think it was the second book, he's like, I felt them break your neck. Like he was the emotional one in that moment because he felt everything, right? Because he knew they were mates. So like he took that so like they took a part of myself.
You're right. You're right. He's like, at the end of the bond, I couldn't feel anything or something like that.
Yeah.
That shit broke me. I was like,
Himself broke me, but like,
yeah.
because I'm trying to look up who.
Yeah, but okay, so
Wait,
because Rhys threw a knife at her or something like that. I know he helped kill her.
yeah, no, he definitely did, but I'm almost hold on because I'm just researching real quick.
No, you're fine.
I'm
Because
almost
from what I remember, can I like speak while you research? Do you mind?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, from what I remember, Rhys was like, he was, I remember like imagining Tamlin next to her dead body, like holding her dead body. I know that happened.
I think so did
Because
Bryce.
Claire was like, oh, I saw Tamlin holding my lifeless body. And then I think there was a moment of grief. Tamlin went into full on rage. Shocking. Plot twist. He went into full on rage. Then he goes, I'm going to rip out your throat. And then Rhysand, I believe, threw a dagger at her or something like that. And I think that's a dagger in her head. But Tamlin literally ripped out her throat. And then I think that was after all the High Lords gave her that seed of power.
Oh, okay. So we're both kind of right. So Feyre's soul is able to watch everything that is happening through Rysand's bond. So we were right on that. As Tamlin cradles her. So I guess he kills Amarantha, then goes back and holds her. And Tamlin cradles her. All the High Fae offer up magic, and Feyre becomes an immortal High Fae.
Mhm. Yeah. See, I remember Tamlin holding her. Like, I remember that.
I don't know why I'm thinking, but wasn't it Rysand who? I don't know. Now I gotta read the ending of that book again because I'm almost sure. But I'm
Because
not completely
Rhys, I believe Rhys was the first one that gave his power to her.
maybe it was that. Guys, don't mind me. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've read this book, but I knew Reese was involved somewhere. He was like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm taking my time with this one.
No, I remember Rhys throwing a dagger.
Yeah.
And then I remember Tamlin ripping out her throat, and I was like, "Per."
Right.
Yeah. Literally roar. Um, but after that, I remember when Feyre is alive, she's like, my new long Fae legs, this, that, and she was, like, shook. She, like, low-key kinda hated it. And
Well,
then
yeah,
Tam
now she has the ears and, like, the complexion, her face has changed. Everything is more kind of, I guess, chiseled, right? Like, more defined.
yeah.
But yeah. So do you wanna add anything else, or do we wanna wrap up a little bit?
I don't know, cause I remember. Okay, I guess we're gonna leave this in, and this is gonna be, like, the intro to the second one. When they go back, Fair is extremely traumatized.
Oh, yeah. She feels like a part of her soul, like there's a hole in her soul,
Mhm.
right? Because what she had to do was literally it would break anyone.
Yeah, and shocking, once again, massive plot twist, Tamlin does nothing.
Yeah, no, the second book is when I really hated him. That was it, sir.
I don't know, I just the thing that really upset me, cause like I said, I was oh, wait, can we talk about the theories that, like, Lucian kinda had a crush on Feyre when she first came by?
Yeah.
I was, like, low-key kinda living for that.
Honestly, if Rhysand wasn't in the picture, I would have rooted for Lucian hard. I am, like I said, I'm a Lucian girly. That man deserves someone that's just like top fucking tier.
Yeah.
Like low key fucking lane. You don't know what you have. Like
I don't think Elaine and Lucian go together.
no, I think it's Elaine and Tamlin.
Yeah, I think so too, unfortunately, but we'll get to that
I
later.
okay, yeah, I guess I'll keep
No,
my.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that's gonna be like if she does do a redemption arc, which I think she's like aiming for based on the series of events that she's written in these books. I think that will be his redemption is Elaine.
Because, okay, the only reason why I'm rooting for Elaine and Tamlin, they're both traumatized by their significant others leaving them.
Yeah.
I think that they could help each other grow.
Oh, that's very true.
Like, they both have, like, the same type of trauma. I use that word very loosely, but Elaine's fiance left because she turned into a fae,
Yeah.
and spoiler alert. And
Grayson.
Grayson.
Oh, sorry. It was like I was thinking about it. I was like, what's the name?
Yeah, no, period. I don't know why I thought it was Oliver. That's not right. Yeah, Grayson leaves Elaine because she's fae, and that's a whole explanation that we'll save for the third book. Farrah leaves Tamlin. Now, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, that's true.
Yeah, and, like, like, the whole drawer thing, like,
Well, I had read well, the droid thing is like that's low key what has me convinced. But I had also read, I think on TikTok, someone posted like one of those series things that said that Tamlin fell so deeply in love with Feyre because she was so closely connected to Elaine, who's his actual mate.
yes. Period, though.
I had read that somewhere, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is this starting? Why am I slowly starting to be seduced by these facts? Like,
Literally.
I'm
That's
starting to make sense.
that is very true. That is very true. I didn't even think of that. But yeah.
So,
I don't know. I just, like, imagine, like, I feel like Elaine is way more powerful than is mentioned.
oh yeah, no, I think her book is actually going to be kind of insane. I can definitely see her coming into her own because like they just have her so meek and like timid and shot like quiet and
Yeah.
broken because like when she comes out of the cauldron, which again this is so for the next book review, but like when she comes out of the cauldron, she's like just a broken character. It's kind
Yeah.
of like her and Nesta take two very different approaches to how they cope with it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to
Yeah,
see.
'cause I
I
mean,
just hate how she treats Lucian.
oh, I know. I'm like, be at least be nice.
It's like, girl, he's a good person. Okay? Love Lucian. Love
I,
that man.
oh, I also saw a theory that Lucian said he's her mate to save Tamlin from Highburn. Because if Highburn knew that, they would, like, harm Tamlin in some way. I'm gonna read up on
Oh,
it.
Lucian lied that it's not his mate. Oh, wait, stop. Wait a minute. That makes sense.
Yeah, because yeah.
And that would explain because wasn't Elaine with her when Azriel saved the both of them, but like Tamlin almost sacrificed himself when they try to get her from the military camp. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, anyone else rooting for Azriel and Elaine for like a short minute in
Mm,
Aqua War?
honestly, I'm a Gwynreal girl.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to add anything else? Or are we going?
Um,
Any final thoughts?
not right now, not that I can think of.
Okay, well, this concludes the very first episode of the ACOTAR series. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure, please leave a comment on how you pronounce Rhysand's name. This will be an ongoing thing throughout this whole series. I just know it. But yeah, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. And yeah, make sure to drop a like and make sure to comment, please. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to be active with you guys. So yeah, see you next week for episode 6.
Bye.
Bye.